Awesome. So I wanted to share something first before we did the one-on-one. And I wanted to talk about, did you watch my live video when I shared breaking down building your team? Like who you want it in it, what do they do, how do they look in life, where do they live, like the kind of breaking down who you want in your team?
No, but I've watched, I think a Social Team Builder does the whole My Avatar. Yeah, the same kind of thing.
Kind of similar? Okay. So let me, I'm not going to focus on that one then because I know you've watched that one. Okay. So I wanted to, because I have some notes on Brendon Burchard. Have you heard of him?
No.
Okay. He's an amazing, he's like a life coach too. YouTube, if you YouTube him, he created a book, High Performance. It's High Performance something it's called, and it's by Brendon Burchard. And he gives all the, he's done studies on high performers all over the world. And the study took like 20 years or something, or like 10 plus years for him to do. And he gathered all this information of people who are high performers and what differentiated them from average people. Mm-hmm. And so I've been listening to his podcast. He has a podcast. He's on YouTube. And I'm planning to buy his book too, because I really love like everything he talks about, especially on this book on high performers, because he's read some chapters in his podcast. And one of them that really interested me this past week was talking about how to influence people. And of course, or how to have influence. And, you know, we're in the job where we have to, you know, kind of understand how to influence people because, you know, a lot of people, if we don't influence them in the right direction, then they won't commit with us, or they won't work with us, or we don't have the right dynamics, and maybe we turn them off. And so I was really interested in this because obviously, like I mentioned in our group that, you know, every single day we should try to perfect one of our weaknesses. And I feel like, you know, this is one area that I feel like, yeah, I'm great at posting, things like that, but I'm not so great in when I'm talking to people, influencing their decision. And, you know, they say that the greatest salespeople out there have great influence. And so I've always wanted to have that positive influence in people. So he broke it down for influence, and there's 4 questions that we need to ask ourselves that you can do on your own, and answer these honestly to figure out how you can influence those that you're specifically trying to serve. And those questions, again, go back to the who, what, where, when questions, but they're specific to influence. And the 4 questions are, who do I want to influence? Why do I want to influence them? What do I want them to do? And how do you want them to think about themselves? And when I started to write down these, like answering these different questions when it comes to who do I want to influence, I started to dig a little bit deeper when it comes to figuring out, you know, going back to finding our avatar, but then why do we want to influence them? And, you know, of course, my who is always goes back to like that, the woman, the mom. I specifically mentioned like women in child rearing years who don't have time to take care of themselves was kind of like my response when it comes to who do I want to influence. And the reason for that was, and the next question goes into why do I want to influence this person specifically? And, you know, a lot of how we talk to these women and the way when we're talking about what we do as coaches and how we can serve them goes back to why we're doing this. And so when I was really trying to break down why I'm trying to influence this person specifically, the woman, the mom in child rearing years who doesn't have time to take care of themselves. The reason for that is to help them to stop adding so much to their plate. Set priorities and take care of themselves so they can then influence their families in a positive way. It all goes back to my family like orientation, because I have like that bigger picture of who am I truly trying to serve. It's the family. And so when you're doing this on your own and answering it, why do I want to influence them? Like, I want you to literally like spell out like how you see their life because of you serving them. Does that make sense? So, you know, how will their life improve because you are working with them as a coach? Because, you know, and today I posted, I think it was today or yesterday, I posted that, you know, I'm not just a health coach. I'm not just a shake chick, you know, and that's kind of like that trap that we get into when we start as new coaches, that we think we're just selling a shake or we're just selling a program, but we're not. We're selling the experience of how a coach makes a difference in a person's life. And so that's what you want to like portray when you're posting, when you're talking to people. You dig deeper into their, you know, you want to become their friends so that you can dig deeper into their personal life and really figure out where their struggles are, so that you can explain to them, like, I want to help you stop adding so much to your plate. I want to help you set priorities. And when you start to give them this backstory of really why you're doing this and why they should work with you, you're pretty much selling yourself. And that enables them, it kind of influences them to then decide to like, okay, I really want to work with this woman. I really want to work with this coach because she's going to help me with this, this, and this, and that. And I wasn't doing that before, because all I was focused on was like, oh, well, how much weight do you want to lose? Oh, how, you know, what have you struggled with in the past with your weight and going to the gym and so on, right? I was so narrow-minded. But when I started to open the backstory to these women who I'm trying to serve, I want them to see the bigger picture and why they should work with me. Because anyone can go to the gym, anyone can get a personal trainer, but not everybody can get a almost like a lifestyle coach, right? And then the third question, what do I want them to do? And you have to be direct as to what you want this person to do. And I was straight out, like when I wrote this response, I want them to invest in their health, to work with me as their coach. And so, like, I know sometimes we kind of like tiptoe around what we want with the person because we feel we're scared to ask them for what we want, or we don't want them to run away from us. But what people really want is for us to be honest with them. And the more direct we can be with them and the more truthful we can be right off the bat, like, yeah, once we build that relationship, once we kind of open those doors with that person, we have to open to this, like, why are we here? Why are we talking to them? And just be direct. And, you know, just tell them, like, I want you to work with me personally. Like, I want you to be a coach on my team or whatever that may be. Like, and even if they don't say yes right now, you just planted a seed as to who you are and what your purpose is. And then the last piece, how do you want them to think about themselves? And this is like the most important thing, because again, it's going back to your bigger picture, right? You don't want to just focus on weight loss or, you know, like the things that the most coaches focus on, or like, you know, health or workouts, right? For me, I wrote so how do you want them to think about themselves? I said, as a woman who has control, who has the ability to change her health, an organized woman who has learned how to balance her life, as a leader of her home and family, as a woman of faith who has a strong relationship with God, a woman who can make a difference, and a woman who is healthy, full of energy, enthusiastic, and vibrant. So, like, I kind of went off really in detail of how I want them to think about themselves through the journey of working with the coach, working with me specifically, right? And that it'll be whatever your response is. Why would they work with you, and what are they going to get out of working with you? And that's the key thing with being a coach, and the difference with having a coach, you know. And right now we have to do this more than we ever did before, because people are almost what's the word, not immune, but like they they don't even think of, like, they just kind of brush off Beachbody, and they brush off, you know, these home workouts because they've heard it so often, or they've done it before, but they haven't done it with the coach. And they get stuck with this mentality that it doesn't work because they tried it once, or they kind of used the containers, or they sort of did a week of workouts and it didn't work, right? So instead of leading with, oh, I have these amazing workout programs, because I know that we do, if we lead with our purpose, again, and it's always going back to our purpose, our why, and why they should work with you, and what the difference will be when they sign up with you. And that's kind of like what we're working on every single day. And that's what I'm trying to perfect every single day when I'm talking to people, and what I'm trying to improve in every single day, because that was my weakness. I wasn't doing that enough. And so what was I getting is people that, you know, I would inspire and motivate, but then they would go to the gym and get a personal trainer. And I'm like, really? I just did all the back work, got them motivated. Now they don't want to work with me. And the reason why is because I didn't spell out, like, why would they want to work with me? What's the difference that they're getting from the coach? So that's kind of what you want to do when it comes to talking to people and building that relationship, right? We do have numbers we have to reach, and we do have daily conversations and follow-ups and all this. And it's kind of like not the sexy like stuff that you want to hear, right? And it's not the exciting stuff. But when I think about like the purpose behind it, I'm thinking of like who I'm targeting and why I'm talking to them and what their life is going to look like. That's exciting to me, and that inspires me, and that pushes me to, like, yeah, you know what? I need to talk to another person. This person said no to me. Okay, then, you know, what can I grab from that conversation that I didn't utilize, or I didn't say correctly, or what could I improve in and then apply to the next person that I talk to? So always learn from every single conversation you have, and kind of tweak it as you go along, because that's kind of what I've been doing. Is like, you never learn how to be perfect in it, because you have to be constantly transforming your way of talking to people because of media, social media, and the way it's transforming. So yeah, like for me, like that was really crucial for me on how to have influence and making that impact as a health coach now. Like, it's just changed so much, and so when we don't transform ourselves and transform the way we do things, we get stuck. And so that's kind of why I wanted to help you guys, like, start to think this way. Every time you talk to a person, ask yourself these questions. Is this somebody that I really want to influence? Why do I want to influence this person specifically? And what do I want them to do? And then how do you want them to think about themselves? And you know, Tony Robbins always said this. I don't know if you've ever listened to Tony Robbins with some of his talks, but he says that before you go into any conversation, into anything that you do, before you make a phone call, you have to ask yourself, what is the ultimate outcome I want to achieve from this conversation, from this phone call, from this meeting, or whatever it is. Like tonight, what is my ultimate outcome tonight? It's to empower you to have the influence on other people so that they can connect with you, because each of us has a talent, has something that we bring to the table, that there's a reason why somebody wants to work with you specifically. And I want you to have that positive influence, and I want you to have that confidence that you have those things. So that's my ultimate goal that I was coming to this call tonight, is to do that. And then obviously do our one-on-ones and see where you're struggling, so that I can help you to tweak something here and there. Because usually it's not that we're doing a whole lot of failure. It's just like one or two things we have to tweak and then kind of adjust as we go. So yeah, that's my little spiel for tonight. And I'll take some time to see how you're doing, and see what you're struggling with, and see how I can help.
I guess I've been trying to do everything that's on the list that you've been giving, just to like try and figure out what I am doing wrong. I did, since the last time we talked, I actually did sign up a coach, which I was so super excited about.
Sweet. That's awesome.
But And what everything you were just talking about is kind of where I think that my problem is. And I just started reading To Sell is Human, which is kind of like the same thing that you're talking, like it's the whole new way of like talking to people, and kind of talks a lot of like similar stuff. So I'm adding that book that you were just telling me to the list.
Awesome.
Because I think that would be an awesome next book to read.
Yep.
I definitely get too caught up in the whole learning, and then don't do the whole inviting thing. So I'm trying to like switch it up and make that the priority, and make sure that I do that and I don't get so sidetracked by, not that I'm giving up the learning, because that's my favorite part, but not to like focus on, like to actually focus on the business building, which is really what I want out of this, instead of like trying to learn how to build the business, which is fantastic, but can't actually build one if I don't actually start laying down some bricks.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So, how's it going with the daily invites?
I have been inviting to, I was going to do a clean week challenge, just because a lot of the feedback that I've gotten from people in the past was, oh, well, it's kind of expensive, for me to do right now. So I was just kind of hitting up like those people with, oh, well, I'm doing a 1 week that's a little less expensive, and, you could get to try it out, kind of like, I haven't gotten any like buddy who's decided that they want to jump on board with that, but that was just kind of just throwing out ideas and seeing like what would get people more interested. Okay. And then I've been working on doing better posts that are more me and stuff like that, so people can get to know me better and would actually want to work with me. And then I'm starting Monday, just going to kind of do like a morning go live every day on my page, just so people can like get to know me better.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
That should be interesting, but
awesome. Okay. So it sounds like, the most of the invites you've been doing is to a clean week.
Yeah, start this week. That's what they were. Yeah.
Those were like follow-ups from previous months.
Yeah.
That's good. So have you talked to people about the new program, the 80-day obsession? And
before it came out, I talked to a few people about it, but I didn't really get anybody super interested. So what I'm doing with that is I'm doing it so that I can show the results of it and see if that gets people interested in it.
Okay.
I don't know if you've done it, but it's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I've been doing it. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I think I can actually do this. Like before it came out, I was like, no way.
I'm going to die. Yeah. No, I was doing Core the Force before this, for the month before. Core the Force for me is one of the hardest programs. Besides, I haven't done full hour P90X or Insanity. But so I was like, let me do these programs or these workouts so I can prepare myself. And I think it actually prepared me, because I'm like hurting, but I'm not dying.
No, I just came off of 4 weeks of a back injury.
Oh. So
I have no workout. Like I'm coming from zero and like, okay, let me see if I can do this. So
well, that's definitely
but the results should be fabulous.
Yes. You did the before picture. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like shooting for the stars, or
Right? Yeah. Every time she's like, so you can use the Easy Band. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use the Easy Band.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So I would say with right now, if you're talking to at least 20 people per day, because it's 10 follow-ups, 10 new conversations.
Yep.
Throw out some more invites for a full challenge group. Like, don't even offer the 7-day clean eating group. Always start higher.
I was only offering that to people that like I've already offered to. I'm like, I'm just gonna give them another like option and see if they want to try it. Because I feel like if I can get somebody to try it,
right,
then they'll be like,
yeah.
oh, this is actually like not what I thought it would be. I like this.
Yeah. So you have how many people? Like almost like 400 people now in your free group, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you talked to all 400?
You know, the thing I don't like about the free group is you have to send them a message through your personal Facebook Messenger, and they don't always get it because they have no idea who you are personally. Like they're joining it through my page. There's no, even if they comment on things in the free group, there's no way to message them like there is through the page. So it's
through your business page?
Yeah. Like when somebody comments on something on your business page, you can then message them.
Right.
But when somebody comments on something through your free group,
yeah, because it's on your personal page.
Your business page. Well, it's linked to my business page.
Right.
But you still can't message them. Like that little message thing doesn't come up on the comment. So I kind of switched back to like more my page. And then what I do is once a month I do a free like week-long thing in my free group. But to get into the free group, you have to comment on my page. So then I have a way to talk to them. When I first set up the free group, I didn't realize it would be so hard to then talk to the people that were in the free group.
Did you add them as a friend on your personal page and you're not able to message them, or like you're not a friend with them so you can't message them?
Yeah, I mean, you can message them, but
you're not a friend, but you're not friends with them.
Probably not.
That's probably what it is. Because usually if you're not friends with them, it goes into, you know, because I've received messages like that where it goes into spam. And and I usually don't see it until like weeks later.
Yeah, or months. Yeah.
So, you know, I would just kind of like check out their page. And if you feel like they're a legit person that you'd want to reach out to, friend request them. And just, you know, and obviously it's easy because they added themselves into your free group. So you have an outlet to reach out to them like, hey, I just wanted to add you because you're part of the free group and I'd like to stay connected. You know, something simple like that, right? But yeah, I would friend request those people and then just shoot them a quick message and say why you friended them. Like, you know, part of my free community. I just wanted to connect and just say hi and so on. So that they don't think you're some stranger, you know?
Right, that's
and it's actually easier because I friend complete strangers. Actually, you know, usually they're like friends of friends, like where they have.
Well, yeah, I was doing that for a while before, like I started the social team builder thing and got some other ideas of like how I could get connections.
Mm-hmm. So you have a ton of people, like you have a community you can add from, and that's amazing. So utilize it. And if that's the case, if you have people adding themselves into it from your business page, like spice it up, like spice up that group like no other thing you've done, right? Because then you have an excuse to add them as a friend. Because I have people that like my page and then I go try to friend them and it's still, you know, it's a little harder.
Yeah.
But, you know, I still get people that accept the friend request because, you know, but then again, they're like, I don't know you. Who are you? And I just say, hey, I saw you like my business page. I just wanted to connect. And it's easier to me connect in my personal page, you know. But I always have a follow-up when I do friend someone that's a complete stranger. But you have this free community that people can add themselves to. So I would the 400 people, that's a good amount of people. And if you can get like, I don't know, do a quick, you know, I don't know if you've done all the testing ads to, you know, get more likes to your business page. I don't know if you've
I have an ad running.
You have an ad. I don't know if you have you know, I mean, I know you have to run tests over and over until you get to the winning ad. So, you know, utilize those people that are liking your page, like go through their page.
Right. And I've been like, I actually feel like I have a decent amount of engagement compared to before I took the training. Like I posted something, you know, like a picture of my dog, and everybody post your fur baby. And I actually got like a whole bunch of people posting pictures of their, but the moment that they posted the picture on my business page, I could message them, oh, such a cute dog, you know, what's their name? Blah, 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 like, just so that I had that, like, hi, here I am. Nice to meet you. Like, so that's what I've kind of been doing with my page. And that's where I've been trying to get like more of my contacts. Like when I add my 10 contacts, I'm like, okay, what can I post today on my page that's going to make people want to like talk to me? Like, hi, here I am. Yeah. And like things not just like, here's the latest crunch to try. Like, you know, I was like, oh, Kimba, like you're here. Here, let me take your picture. Today you're the
fur babies and babies.
Yes. So I'm like, today you're the star of the page. Let's see what happens. Like, I don't know. And because some questions just like sit up there and nobody says anything, and other questions like go nuts.
Exactly. It's kind of playing back and forth with what works. So that's good. So I would definitely, you know, you have, you know, it's cold market, but you have, it's, you know, you can convert it to your warm market. And so I would focus on that. That's the big thing. It's a numbers game. So the more people you keep adding, the more people you have to talk to, and the more likelihood you're going to get to the person that will commit. I would say in the last year, since I started the STB training, a lot of the people that have signed up with me are not my friends, are not my warm market. So it is critical to use the page and to connect with those people as much as you can.
This coach that I signed up was not my warm market. I mean, she somehow got connected with me, like she's from the area where I grew up.
Nice.
But I've never met her. So that was like, oh, that was kind of cool. Like she must have been watching what I was doing, and like,
awesome.
So that was exciting. Kind of made me feel like I was maybe going in the right direction. Finally.
So just repeating that, you know, and that's
right. That's what I was like. Okay, now what did I do?
Right. What did I do?
Why did she like me?
But it's like every person is different too, you know.
I know.
Like, oh, that didn't work for that person. Like you try to repeat the same exact thing. It doesn't. So it's almost like a guessing game. Like even 3 years into it, you're just like, really, that didn't work this time. And I have to adjust. But that's all it is just have an open mind. And you know, and that's kind of why I threw up the invite, the different sample invites. Like I just started to do those sample invites because the messaging alone was not working. I was doing voice messages. I was doing video messages. I'm like, all right, let me try this one. You know, like, so you have to kind of be like constantly like rotating the different type of invites.
Well, and I like that because I was like, oh, I never thought to do anything except words. That's cool. Let me put that into my
like it draws their attention, you know, for a second. And they'll open it up, the message usually. That's usually the hardest part. So it's just getting creative, having fun with it, being lighthearted, you know, and just like I said, like it's just tons of people, and that's honestly what it is. And that's kind of why, you know, like the 10X rule, the book, it just talks about like whatever you thought it would take to start your business, or whatever you think it's going to take to get momentum, multiply that times 10, like I told you before. And that's all, honestly, that's all it is. And then doing it over time. So like these daily activities you're doing right now, they are life. Like right now, you're not going to see the results right now. But in a month, if you keep multiplying that, in times a month is another month is another month.
And I feel like even though like I'm not getting the people yet all the way to commit, like I feel like I'm getting more people that are like, oh, Michelle posted this today, let me comment on it. Or hi, oh, you messaged me, oh hi, how's it going? Like like I feel like before it was just like complete silence, and now I'm like, oh my god, look somebody is talking to me. Like, I don't know, like I think it's like even that, like I feel like is progress. So I'm still climbing up the mountain.
Exactly. And that's what it is. It's like when you see those little wins, because they're wins, you have to celebrate the wins. It keeps you like, okay, I can keep doing this, I can keep going. But when you don't see anything, that is you get burnt out. And that's why I don't want my coaches to feel like, because I almost felt like that. And you know, sometimes I feel like that because that, you know, you go through these ups and downs. But what keeps you in the game is getting those small wins.
Right.
You know,
that, and I'm
that coach,
super stubborn.
Yeah. Oh, setting up that coach, that's a win. That's huge.
Oh my God, that was so huge. Never mind that, but all the messaging that I did with her, I was shopping at Walmart, walking around and standing in the checkout line waiting. And I was like, really? All that time, like I spend messaging people and I'm like sitting at home, like totally intent on what, and this one I was like, oh, hold on a second. I'm in the checkout line. I'll get right back to you. And he signs up. I was like,
when you least expect it.
Maybe I need to go shopping more.
When you least expect it, honestly. Right? That's how it is. Like, and it's just, you know, doing the daily vitals. Okay, he's okay. Daily vital behaviors, and it's just doing them consistently over time. And I promise you, if you do that, and you know, you'll have days like this week has been crazy for me. So it's been a down week for me, but you know, I catch right back up and I can just feel the momentum again, you know? So that's kind of why I mentioned that. A side note today is, you know, you can have some bad days, but don't let it catch up too far where you're like a week behind. Because that week behind will get you a month behind. In momentum. So that's how critical each day, like just breaking it down smaller goals makes such a huge difference. And I've seen people who stop doing those little things like that over a week, and then 2 weeks and 3 weeks, and they just lose everything. And so that's the part where, and then that's why I mentioned why I had my little message before this is, so you can stay motivated. Is going back to who you're trying to influence, why you're trying to influence them in that bigger picture to keep you motivated. Because when you're just like, oh, I have to message 10 people today, like that's not motivating, you know?
Well, I try to do it like first thing in the morning. So it's not like, oh crap, it's the end of the day and I didn't do, it's like, oh my God, like I haven't even been to work yet and I've already done almost all the things that I wanted to check off my list. Like, I try to like get up and do it first thing.
That's
like,
exactly
I know even though like people aren't up yet, they'll see my message and they'll message me when they can. So
and then you follow up the next day with those same people. And
exactly.
You get into that routine and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So you can keep doing that, and that's what you need. That's all you need. It's that simple, and that's honestly why I'm focusing on the simple, basic stuff. This is what's gonna move your business, nothing else, honestly. And then everything else is extra. So everything else you do after is extra. Like right now, our best ever project is extra that I'm doing to kind of like put my name out there even more, right? But I didn't do that 3 years ago. You know, I didn't have a website 3 years ago, and I still kind of don't.
Well, I have a website, but that's because I paid somebody to build it for me. Not because I spent all the time building.
Right. So it's the basics, and honestly, that's if you focus on that and repeat every single week, every single month, you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
That's how every top coach has gotten there. You know, everybody.
Yeah, I did sign up for the My Connection Builder. That's like the tracker, so that kicks me in the butt. Like when I think that I've done 10 people, like talk to 10 people, and then I go in that and go, oh no, that was only 7. Okay, keep going. Yeah. I really like that.
Is it the Teamsy or?
No, it's Social Team Builders version of Teamsy.
Oh.
So like it links right into, it's, what? I was like, oh, well, if they came up with one and it has like a 30-day free trial. So I was like, oh, well, let me try it. It hooks
the STB community.
Yeah.
Wow.
Made their own like version of Teamsy, and they call it My Connection Builder.
What? I don't know.
It's like fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
I might take a look at it.
It has the 30-day free trial, so
I might try that and see, because I've been using Teamsy for a while, but I might want to try it out just to see what the differences are.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll let you go so you can get back to family.
Yeah, I have to go do my 80-day obsession day
workout.
That's why I'm drinking my Energize to wake my knees back up.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, let me know. You know, I'm here to support you 100%. And I know you're gonna rock it. I can't wait to. You're gonna get to Diamond before March 31st. I can feel it. So, I know you can.
I'm gonna try. It won't be for lack of trying. That is like my motto in life.
You got this. You got this. So, and you know, if there's any questions or struggles or anything, like in the middle of the night, just like don't ever hesitate to message me. Like this, when we're doing a push, like for any team, this is our life for the next 6 weeks. So like it feels overwhelming, but it's like small runs, like you give it your all 100%, 110% for 6 weeks, and then you can take a little break and then get back at it again. And that's how you push for big goals. And so that's kind of why I'm doing this. So I hope that it doesn't discourage you, but that you stay motivated.
I love having written out my 1 month, my 3 month. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. I keep going back to my 1 month. What did I say I was going to accomplish this month? What did I say I was going to come? Am I going to make it? What did I say I was going to accomplish? And I keep going back. Okay, I'm on track for that one. I'm not on track for that one. I need to focus on that one right now. I love that. I don't know why. Like it. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yes. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, we'll stay in touch next week. We'll see each other again, hopefully next Wednesday, and then see how you're doing then. All right.
Bye.
Have a good night.